Good morning, YouTube. Welcome in. Today I got another beautiful build for you. Today we're building a 4070 Ti in 13600K, and the beautiful, and I say beautiful, we really like this case. The Pure Base 500DX. You've seen this before on the channel, but it's been quite some time. We're trying to find some smaller cases that can still take a lot of power. And we're talking a lot of power. We're talking 360mm AIOs. We're talking 4070 Ti graphics cards. We're talking the beautiful 13600K in all of its gaming glory. We're putting it all in this beautiful case. Let us know what you think down below in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button to help us with the algorithm, as always, here on YouTube. And remember, we build these systems live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/tints at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we hope to see you soon. I think it was a pretty solid one, right? The one take wonder. One take wonder. I don't know. Absolutely stunning little, honestly, bang for buck. Like 13.6, 4070 Ti, 64 megahertz of DDR5. It's just like any game you play right now, you're going to enjoy it. You're really going to enjoy it. Frame rates are going to be good. The stutters, the value proposition behind those components is just exceptional. Let's get over to the build station. Let's get started. I will see you guys over there, and let's go. Look at those beautiful parts. I'm saying that setup right there, pristine.
All right, let's go top down, guys. Today we've got the 13600K going on the Z690. It's a customer order. I think on this one we go to actually like a Z790P. We upgraded from the Z790A Pro, which is a little bit better of a board. So there we go. A little upgrade for the customer today. All right, guys, let's get started. First off, it's gonna be our CPU, 13600K today. 13600K is one of the best value CPUs on the market right now. I say best value. It performs exceptionally well. It's literally pretty much a 12900K. Really is what it comes out to be. And they're in that $310 price point right now. Absolutely killer CPU. So down we go, socket looks great. 13600K, we're dropping it in. There we go. Latch everything down. NVMe drive today. We have a 2TB NV2 from Kingston. Fantastic little drive. Loading into 13600, it feels great. Yeah, 13600K is a little tuned. Man, they run great. Rest of these specs, this right here is a fantastic Tarkov machine for the price. All right, 2TB NV2 going in. Next, we have our standoffs for our cooler chat. Deepcool LS720 today. All right, we got the standoffs in place for the cooler. All right, there we go, guys. DDR5 is in. 6400 megahertz. DDR5, 32 gigs from Kingston. Superior Renegade RAM, we love it. All right, let's get a case out. Beautiful 500DX today, chat. Get a front close-up, 500DX. And be quiet. Or start stocking more of these cases. It's a phenomenal case. Put an air cooler in it with this. You put air cooler. I mean, honestly, if you don't want RGB, you put this one top fan in here to the front. Have two 140s in the intake and one on the rear for exhaust. You put an AK620 on a 13.6, and you got a case that literally can handle it all for the price. This is one of the most valuable cases, in my opinion, one of the best valued cases in the market that kind of gets slept on, unfortunately. The H5 flow, the H7 flow, yeah, that's really good too. I wish they had a little bit more fans. The really only thing bad about NZXT, and I say this with a grain of salt, like it's very minimal, is their RGB fans are like one dimension. And I say that is because they have to run the NZXT cam. They're very expensive for the price, and in my opinion, they're not as good as some of the competitors in terms of performance. It's the only downfall of the NZXT right now, because everything else they're doing, they're actually killing it. The cases are getting better airflow, which has been their biggest. The biggest gripe about them for the longest time was airflow. Their performance on like minimalist aesthetic instead of the performance of the cooling of the system. That's changed. Now they're becoming better and better. I like to see it. I love to see it. I wish the one thing that they would do on different is they'd actually make a back rear retention slide-on case for Be Quiet instead of these, because these are always scary to people because you have to take the thumb screws out and you have to hold the glass to make sure it doesn't fall off. It's probably one of my only gripes. I wish they made this a little bit longer for a top mount without being bigger in size, like a little bit longer for a 360 top mount. But this case is amazing. If you're going really thinking on the hard part on this one is it's really hard to get anything over a 13.7 in this case without having to worry about thermals. Or 4090. I don't think a lot of 4090s will fit in this case, or even some 4080s won't fit in this case because of the length. And they have other models out there, like bigger models, but I think I like the size, I like the airflow, I like the aesthetic of this build. I just wish it was like 2 inches longer to accommodate that, kind of like the compact is in Fractal. We are putting RGB fans in today, so we're gonna take these out. These are Silent Wings too. They're just like, I think they're like a 1,000 RPM fans that they put in here. They're not too bad. We're popping these out because we're gonna put some FCs in from Deepcool, some RGB. We're gonna pop off the front panel mesh. There we go. Just retention clips in there. All right, so we have to pop out the front fans in here. All right, guys, all opened up. See, there's a lot of airflow in this case. It's very nice, very well built. Be Quiet makes some phenomenally built cases. And they do make this now with like the light wings installed. I think it's 4 light wings installed, but a really good price. We're gonna start actually stocking those because it's a good case. You put like an air cooler in here, put a 4070 Ti and call it a day, and it's great. But let's get ready to put the motherboard in. Go to a top down chat. The Leanly 11 mid tower for space. It's good. It's very good. The yellow one's, 11's a great case. All seated in there. We have to get our screws out of our box. Motherboard's all nice and secure in that beautiful Be Quiet case. Time to work on the cooler. All right. The rad is in. We're gonna start working on the fans. All right, getting all of the fans in. Fans are looking good. I'm gonna start working on the pump chat. Now the thermal pad that's already pre-applied on here has plenty of thermal paste. We've used this and stress tested against pre-applying. That's plenty of thermal paste on there. These are brand new coolers to the market, so they're not sitting with like dated thermal paste on there. The way it's applied is the exact amount you need. And it's a really good thermal paste that Deepcool is using. So the especially on a 13.6 is fine. What we're gonna do is we're gonna run these wires off the side. We're gonna get ready to mount this cooler, chat. All right, chat, I'll give you a front close-up now. Beautiful system. I'm ready to run these cables over the top here. After we get this done, we're gonna run just the front RGB cable really quick, and then we're going to work on the front panel connections. All right, let's run our RGB connector. It runs over to the fan over here. We're gonna work on the front panel connections next. Let's get these cables ran. So we need a Type-C. Our USB 3, you're gonna go in first. There's our USB-C, all in there. Next will be our Type-C. Oh, sorry, our USB 3, I mean. There we go, all in. Work on managing all these cables now. How much PC run? I believe it's right around 2,500. Next is going to be our front panel connection. We have a power switch and a power LED today. Easy peasy on those. And 2, there we go, those are in. After this will be power supply, and then finishing our rear fans will be last. Guys, let's get our power supply out. 850 watt gold today from MSI. It is the APG PCIe 5. ATX 3.0 power supply. All right, get our cables we need out here. We go 12 volt high power. Our 24 pin main. That one's got 3, there we go, 3 pin SATA. CPU 1 we do need, and CPU 2 we do need. Everything else will go back in the bag here. Before we get started on that, we have to take out our tray. So on this one, it slides in the back here. Kind of like Fractal Design. Be Quiet and Fractal Design have these adapters that go onto the power supplies. So we're gonna put this on right now. Get our power supply down flat. Get our screws that we need. All right, chat, we have running our SATA cable. It's gonna power our onboard RGB controller. It's built into the case, as well as our AIO, as well as our additional 3 fans we're having. So we have that in. Last but not least is gonna be our 24 pin main motherboard. So we're gonna put this cable in, and then after this, really, chat, is running these cables. So this, then the fans, and then off to our GPU. Think about making one of those fancy pyramid builds. Any reason why it would be a bad idea? Horrible cooling. Horrible cooling. Yeah, I've actually had people ask me about the case. I won't touch it. It's not good. It's not good. Fans. 3 pack of fans we gotta add, chat. They're onto the GPU. Let's get our fans going. 2 on the top, 1 in the rear. The fans today for this one. Let's get these in. Okay, these fans do daisy chain. That's what I'm doing right now. All right. We'll get them mostly in. I'm gonna run this other one back and out. It's a great sweet. It really is. It's honestly the Tarkov sweet spot. It's really good in Warzone, any FPS game, any FPS title. 13.6 4070 Ti with good DDR5 and good tuning, like our tuning team does on these systems. Killer, man, just killer. Cables are done on the back here. A lot of cables, a lot of RGB. Looking good. We just have to do our GPU now, chat. 4070 Ti going to today's system. There she is, looking good. Actually got a PNY today. Nice card from PNY. It's a stealth flat card. How is the 4070 Ti compared to the 4090? They're good. They're very good. I mean, it really comes down to the games you're playing. Some people are like, I need to have a 4090, and honestly, in some games you don't. It's more CPU and RAM heavy. Like Tarkov is CPU RAM. If you have a good CPU and good RAM, even like a 3080 Ti or up to a 4070 Ti, you can get some really good frames. It really depends on the game. That's why we always recommend doing a build consultation. When people are ready to get a build from us, go through the build consultation. We'll go over everything you need, and we can walk in the best specs for you. There's chat. Got a 3-slot card today from PNY. Pop out our tabs. The 4070 Ti is outperforming a lot of the 3090 Ti's. They are. 4070 Ti, go in and look at that. Just fits, chat. Just fits. only certain 4070 Ti's and 4080s will fit in this case because it's a little bit smaller. We wanted to make sure we could get them, but there we go. In we go, you get a nice little, ready for the thunk chat? That's a thunk right there. It's actually well supported card. So PNY have come out of the woodwork this year. So with EVGA leaving, there's been 2 brands that really want to focus on building really good high-end consumer cards and getting more recognition for that. It's been PNY, it's been Zotac. And all the cards we've had this year, they've been very reliable. I've been really impressed. So it's just like, oh, it's PNY. They've been around for years. They do more commercial grade cards than consumer. And then this year they've been really good. Like this card, it's well supported. It's got aluminum bezel on the side. It reminds me a lot of the Ventus from like the 30 series, but it's a 40 series card. It's clean. It's not overly fancy. It just performs well. And their pricing has been better than a lot of the other competition. So we're able to get really good cards for people for honestly a little bit better pricing. Shout out to PNY for that. Just cable up and in for the GPU. There we go. All in there. All right, cables are all ran, plugged in. There we go, chat. So people don't realize is PNY is actually in partnership with like Galax. So if you guys know Galax, Galax is one of the biggest provider of cards in like SCA, Australia, stuff like that. They're the same brands. So they've been around for years. So PNY has been working on getting all those cards out there and then doing commercial cards, like A6400s, things like that are used more in like high-end desktops and workstations, stuff like that. They've been doing that. And when EVGA left the market, there was a void. There was an AIB that was not really there. Like EVGA was last year, guys, last 2 years, EVGA was pumping the most amount of GPUs into the US market for consumers. When they broke ties with NVIDIA, there was a huge void of who's gonna fill that space because the consumers still want graphics cards. So when they did that, Zotac was like, we're gonna up our production, and then PNY is like, we're gonna enter the US market even stronger now and provide GPUs across retail channels. And we've had every PNY card we've had, we've even tuned cards, they've been great. They've been great. Somebody yesterday, they got a card, I got a PNY Exhilarate card. I'm like, that's their high-end card, it's like a Supreme. And then they were messing with it and like, this card actually rocks. I'm like, yep. Yep. Got our case cover back on the front. We're ready to boot up this PC, chat. Oh, it's always a fun part. This high pressure, this pressure panel, there it is. It snaps in place and it's always loud and obnoxious, but there it is. Let's plug it up, let's plug it in. Let's get it all booted up for you.
Guys, thanks for coming in and liking another video here on YouTube. Make sure to hit that like button, help us with the algorithm. Make sure people find us and see all the beautiful PCs we build. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button as well. Remember, we build these systems live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/stints. Come over, hang out, chat it up with us, and watch us build beautiful PCs for everybody in the community. And remember, let's go.